Hello, this is Thomas Dakantabik Mavok, Senior English and French teacher, professional English into French translator, and author of the book titled De la sémantique à la traduction, une approche sémantico-morphosyntaxique de la traduction. In this video, we are going to talk about mastering a language. What mastering a language entails, and what we need to know about this question. Well, Etienne Dolet, in his the French poet and translator Etienne Dolet, in his book titled La manière de bien traduire d'une langue à une autre, has outlined 5 main principles for good translation, among which the fact that the translator should be proficient in both languages, namely the source and the target language. Many other translation scholars have pointed out the necessity for the translator to master the 2 languages involved when it comes to translation, but not enough information has been given in terms of how to achieve this proficiency in the 2 languages concerned. In this video, we are going to try to delve into this question, to answer this question, and to bring out some response to this question. When we say mastering a language, what does it entail exactly? Mastering a language to me means, first of all, mastering its grammar, because grammar is the core of a language. Grammar is at the center of any discussion related to language. So we have to master the grammar of the language. When we say master the grammar of the language, that means we have to be able to know how to master grammar rules from the phrase level to the sentence level. How do we build phrases? How do we build sentences? And most importantly, what are the types of clauses that are used in that language? What are the different types of clauses that are used? How are these clauses built? How are they actually structured? And what are the different equivalent that we can use in order to rephrase these clauses? What are the component of a phrase or a sentence? So these are some of the basic questions that we have to address. So the first thing is mastering grammar rules. There should be no secret concerning grammar rules, concerning the grammar of the language that we are trying to master. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we have to master ordinary collocation involved in that language. There are different types of collocation, as you know. As Firth put it, you shall know a word by the company it keeps. And there are a lot. There are so many collocations that that we can discuss when it comes to language. But we are going to give some of them here. So we are just going to list some of this collocation. For instance, you have to mastering ordinary collocation has to do with mastering, for instance, preposition plus verb collocation. If we take the example of English, we have to know that, for instance, we say we say think of plus gerund. So think of plus ing form. We don't say I think to go to London. We say I think of going to London. We don't say I am interested to learn Spanish. No. We say to be interested plus ing forms. That is to be interested plus gerund. I am interested in learning Spanish. So this is verbal collocation or prepositional collocation, that is preposition which dance together with verbs uh, turn into the gerund form. These are the basic things that we have to master. So we say collocation. And another point of collocation is verb plus adverb. For instance, verb plus adverb. You see, and we have to know that from one language to another, collocation are not the same because every language has its genus and it has its ways of expressing ideas. So, for in English, for instance, when we talk about verb plus adverb collocation, so that is a verbal collocation or adverbial collocation, we are going to say, for instance, we don't say to try much or to try seriously. The natural way of using try, the verb to try actually goes with hard. So we're going to say to try hard. He try hard. The same applies to rain. We are not going to say it rain seriously. We say it rained hard or it rained heavily. So we need to master uh, collocation, as I said, and these are just examples of collocation. There are some other types of collocation, noun collocation, adjectival collocation, and so on and so forth. So collocation is the second point when it comes to mastering a language, because this is pretty much critical, very important in terms of mastering a language. Another point is vocabulary. Why vocabulary? Because for you to know that this is a good translator, you should be able to see that translator should be able to have a great deal of vocabulary. When we say vocabulary, vocabulary should not have a secret for the translator. And vocabulary, when we talk about vocabulary, we think about lexicology, which tells us about synonymy, antonymy, polysemy. So we have to, a good translator should know that this word is synonymous. This word has as synonym this other word. This word has as opposite or antonym this other word. This word denotes several meaning, but this is the meaning which actually fits the context. So the translator should have a great deal of vocabulary. Having a great deal of vocabulary is tantamount to bearing in mind the fact that when we discuss lexicology, we discuss it in terms of synonymy, polysemy, antonymy, and even collocation. This is the third point which we have to know concerning vocabulary. Now, we are going to come to the fourth point, which has been raised by Etienne Dolet. What does Etienne Dolet tell us about his 4 point concerning the principles surrounding a good translation? Etienne Dolet advises us to use common language. To use common language. Using common language here has to do with using common expression based on context. And don't forget that translation is done contextually. And having a great deal of vocabulary means that you should be able to know that at this point, I will be using this word because this word actually matches with the tone or the register of this particular situation. Because having a great deal of vocabulary doesn't mean that we are going to be boasting, we are going to be using any word anyhow, but it means that we have to be very selective in terms of what word that we are going to use based on the context, taking into account also the audience, the register, the tone of the text. So if we master this 4 principles, then we can say that we master the language, because speaking the language is not tantamount to mastering the language. We may speak the language fluently, but when it comes to writing, it becomes something else. So to recap, when it comes to dealing with mastering a language, this entails, first of all, mastering its grammar, that is all the grammatical rules at the phrase level, sentence level, clause level, and that's the first thing. The second thing is mastering collocation, and there are different types of collocation as we've mentioned. The third one is having a significant amount of vocabulary, where we know that with lexicology, we have word formation, we have synonymy, we have antonymy, and we have synonymy, we have antonymy, we have polysemy. We should be able to build new words that we call what we call word formation. These are all of the aspects of lexicology which a translator should know. And the 4 point, which is also critical here, is that you have to be able to use common language. There is a translator with a great deal of vocabulary, and knowing all the grammatical rules, the stylistic rules, should be able to identify the context of usage. Which expression, which phrase am I going to use based on the register, based on the tone, based on the audience? Because it is not an exercise where I have to show that I am boasting, but it is something I have to make sure that what I will use as vocabulary will be understood by the audience. So this is what mastering a language entails, and this is what we can say in this video. If you have any other information that can be useful, please do not hesitate to share under the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing. See you soon.